Should you buy the newest Muds bundle, Muds Got More Dread? Well, I think for a certain type of player, it is going to be worth it. However, bit controversial here. I think for most players, this is actually bad value and you probably shouldn't buy it. I think this has the biggest potential to create buyer's remorse of almost anything they've ever released in the game. There are so many bundles that would be better for you to buy if you don't already have this, like the Legendary Battlecruiser bundle, the 10th anniversary bundle, some of the other anniversary bundles, other bundles, I'm sure. It's just not that good of value. And let's break down why by first just going over what's in it and addressing the elephant in the room here, which is that, yes, the mustache is back. Okay, so you got 3 choices like normal from Muds, and you got 3 different packs to choose from here. The 23rd Century Dreadnoughts, it's going to give you the Atlas, the Tray, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, Warbird, and the D9. Now, these ships are not great. You're probably not going to want to fly them. They haven't really held up by today's standards, unless you just think they look cool. The big selling feature here is the DPRM that comes with the Atlas. Account-wide DPRM. Oh my god, the servers don't work. Everything is laggy and buggy, and the game is basically unplayable, and it's being shifted over to a company we have no experience with and don't know what to expect from, but DPRM and I can get the legendary DPRM on every character. All of them, every single one. Oh, Cryptic, take my money, take my money. Well, at least that seems to be the attitude over on Reddit, and honestly, I think that's a mistake. And we're going to talk more about that later, but let's move on. So then you also have the 26th Century Dreadnoughts. Now here's where I'm going to put a generic caveat, asterisk for all these Muds things. If you're interested in any of these ships for any reason, even if that reason is just aesthetic or just because you love the design or it's from your favorite show or whatever, it doesn't matter what the reason is, right? If you're interested in these ships at the end of the day, and you are interested enough to spend money on them, definitely get them through a Muds bundle. By a country mile, Muds bundles are the best way to buy these premium ships. Now, I put premium in quotes. I don't really want to call them premium anymore because, let's be honest, there's nothing really premium about them at this point. It used to be they had premium features like the ability to have multiple specialization seats, or they just had better stats, and they just had like a premium feel to them. But C-Store ships have that stuff nowadays, so there's nothing really special about them other than the fact that they're more expensive. But what we're really talking about here is ships that used to be gambling exclusives or Lobby exclusives. So if you're interested in any ship like that, and it's in a Mud bundle, definitely get it through the Mud bundle. And if you want one of these ships because you just love it, then don't let me stop you. I'm not here to tell you your opinion on these ships are bad. I want to talk about the actual value of the bundle. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Let's move on. Okay, the next ship you can get is the Marion Command Science Dreadnought. Honestly, a pretty good ship. Has a lot of good science and command seating on there. It has a hangar bay. Pretty decent ship, but it's kind of ugly because it has those future floaty bit, pylons, nacelles on there. So I don't think most people are going to be interested in that. Okay, and then there's also the stuff down here, the coupons, the keys. If you're really, really hard up for Epic Phoenix tokens, and I suppose you could go for that, assuming you actually get 2. That might be a typo. Who are the players who should consider getting this bundle, and who are the players who should not consider getting this bundle? I want to give you 2 scenarios. Scenario number 1, your characters, or maybe just your characters outside of your main character, haven't really picked all the low-hanging fruit yet, okay? Not using crafted batteries. Don't have your gear upgrade to Mark 15 Epic. You haven't re-rolled the modifiers on it to get the good ones. You don't have your ISO mags or your fleet locators or your exploiters. You don't have your reputations leveled up, so you don't have any of the benefits from that. If that's the case, the DPRM is going to do very little for you, okay? Because it does give you a great survivability boost, and it does give you that bonus damage, which is what everyone loves about it. But what are you multiplying? Garbage? It's not going to take you from 50,000 DPS to 1,000,000 DPS. You got to get the rest of your act together. A console is just one part of a giant machine that is a ship build, and the DPRM isn't some magic sauce that's going to make your ship better. So it may be the best console in the game, and yet it still may not be worth buying if you haven't done all the easy stuff first. But let's suppose you have. Let's suppose you picked all the low-hanging fruit, and you're at a point where you really do need an expensive C-store ship or gambling ship console in order to give you that little extra edge. Well, let me ask you this. What's your value over replacement? What do I mean by that? Is you're not running your ship with one empty console slot, are you? You have something in every console slot. So what are you taking off? And then you have to ask yourself, how much better is the DPRM than the thing you're removing to use the DPRM? And that value proposition has gotten much worse over time. When the Atlas first came out, the DPRM was amazing, just like it is now, but it didn't have the competition it does now. There are so many other consoles you could use that are similar or do really powerful things as well, like the console from the Ahawani that just came out, for example. Or, and if you're watching this video, I can almost guarantee you have this because it came on the Tier 6 Engineering Odyssey, which means it's also been bundled up in all kinds of ships, including the 10th anniversary, the Legendary Battlecruiser bundle, and other stuff. And that is Adaptive Emergency Systems. Now, that's not as good as a DPRM. It doesn't give you the whole regen. It doesn't give you as much bonus damage resistance, so it's not quite as good for survivability, but it does give you survivability. And it does give you bonus damage for 30 seconds. It's a very good console. I said in my Legendary Verity review that the only reason people don't use those flagship consoles is not because they're bad, it's because they're restricted to the Odyssey class. And they remove that restriction. So if you have that sitting in a bank and you're not already using it and you're thinking about buying this bundle to get the DPRM, don't. Just go use that instead, or use any of the other consoles that are good out there. Depending on what kind of build you want to do. If you're doing Do-Psi, if you're doing Pure Psi, if you're doing torpedoes, if you're doing energy weapons, there's great consoles that give haste. There's great consoles that give kinetic damage. There's all kinds of really powerful consoles out there now that you might already have. And so that benefit of the DPRM over just using those isn't as high as it used to be. So I would be very wary. The DPRM account unlock is only going to be useful to people who have multiple leveled up, high-end, kitted out characters for whom they need that extra little bit above and beyond even all the other stuff I just mentioned. And if that's the case, you weren't waiting for my opinion, as I always like to say in these videos. So I think if you're planning to buy this bundle just to get account-wide unlock DPRM, it's a mistake. I think that's a bad value proposition. I think most of the ships in this bundle suck. You're not going to want to fly them. 6 months from now, you're going to regret it. So if you really love these ships, if you want to get yourself a pizza cutter or one of the other 26th century ships, hey, Trizander, or if you want the Marion, or maybe you just like the 23rd century ships. The Atlas is actually a pretty cool looking ship. And the Class F shuttles that come with it are pretty good. They're not the best in the game or anything. They're not like horrible ships if you just want to fly them because you like the way they look. But if you care about performance, then the only thing in here is high-hanging fruit with low value over replacement proposition that you probably aren't going to benefit too much from on most of your characters. So I just think if you really got to have an Epic Phoenix token, you want to get your Domino, and you really got to have that DPRM, then sure, maybe go for it. But just keep in mind, this is not the amazing value that people are making it out to be, okay? So that's my opinion on this. I will not be buying it. The only character I have one main character who has all the stuff, and that's my engineer, and he already has a DPRM because I got it years and years ago. I don't need it on my other characters. My other characters aren't going to benefit from it, and I'm not interested in any of the other ships, so I'm not going to buy this bundle. It has no value proposition to me either. So thank you guys very much for watching, and like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more of my content in the future. I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.